Hello, and welcome to the CNMS Advising Office of Student Success video on early academic alert recovery. My name is Emma Barnaby, and I am your CNMS Student Success Coach. Today, we're going to cover 5 different topics. Number 1, what is an early academic alert? Number 2, reflection on your course progress. Number 3, grade calculation. So, this is how you calculate the marks you need to get the grade that you want at the end of the class, and whether or not that's feasible for you. The fourth thing we'll cover is whether to recover from your EAA or withdraw from the course and the implications of both. And the last thing we'll cover is if you decide to take the recovery path, how to build some skills and work towards that recovery. So first of all, what is an early academic alert? It is an alert that's sent by a professor if you are in danger of receiving a D or F in a course. You'll be notified through My UMBC, and they can also be viewed in your advising history, which means that your advisor can see them. These are meant to help you get on track and not to scare you, and that's why the window for early academic alerts ends halfway through the semester. So this semester, spring 2022, that window closed on March 29th, which was right after spring break. So you've got plenty of time, 7 weeks, to get back on track if you decide to recover from that course. The next thing we're going to talk about is reflection. So there's a worksheet. It's actually 4 sheets. It's all together in one sort of PDF format in a Google Doc, and it's linked below the video. So you can click the See More button to click on that and access it, download it if you'd like, and fill it out. And this worksheet is meant to do a few things, but the first thing that it'll ask you to do is to reflect on your progress this semester. So it's important that you take the time to look at this really carefully and think about what's affecting your grade in the course. So really reflect here. Reflect on how you can recover, if you can recover, whether you want to, what's affecting your performance, and all sorts of things. So make sure to check that out. You can pause the video now, click on that, and go through that now if you'd like, or you can keep watching and do that at the end. The next thing we're going to cover is grade calculation. So within the same packet that's linked below, one of the pages is about grade calculation. So following the reflection, this page is there, and it will teach you how to calculate your grade so that you can figure out what your final grade in the class will be if you earn certain grades on tests and quizzes and assignments. So you'll need to have the course syllabus handy in order to do this so you know what weight to give each component. And there's also a grade calculator link linked below the video. So the way it explains to do it on the sheet involves quite a lot of math. If you're not quite sure how to do that, you can use the grade calculator tool online, which does that math for you. You just need to know what weights the assignments are given and what grades you've gotten so far, and then it will help you figure out what you need to do to achieve the final grade that you'd like. So this is a useful tool, and you should do your grade calculation based on what you think you can achieve on the rest of the assignments in the semester. And that way you'll see what your final grade would be. And it's also important to keep the syllabus handy because there may be instances in which your lowest test or quiz grade is dropped. And so if you think that you're doing better and you will expect to continue to do better in this semester, you may want to not consider that lower grade on the whatever the worst test or quiz grade was. So the next thing we'll talk about is whether or not to decide to recover from this EAA. So now that you've calculated your grade, you know what will be expected of you to earn that grade. So it's really important for you to think about this and to decide whether or not that's possible for you. So withdrawing from a course is also an option, and you can withdraw from a course in spring 2022 until April 11th, which means that you still have a little bit of time to decide whether or not that is the best move for you. If you're watching this video after April 11th within the spring 2022 semester, your only option for withdrawal is to withdraw from every course in a full term withdrawal. So before you withdraw from a course, keep in mind that you should speak to several people, your financial aid advisor and your housing director, because this may affect your on-campus housing status, your advisor, and of course, and most importantly, the course professor. and you should talk to the course professor with having read the syllabus, having understood the syllabus to understand what you need to do to achieve that grade. So that means that you need to understand the policies, you need to understand the weights of the assignments, you need to understand your own progress in the course. But it is important to consider withdrawal if you are not capable, or you think that you're not capable of earning the grade that you would like to earn in this course. Keep in mind, withdrawal is a good option generally if you are on probation and you think that staying in the course will help or not help with your probation status. For instance, that it will cause you to remain on probation. But again, the number of credits you are enrolled in may affect your status in terms of financial aid and housing. So it's very important to check with all the relevant people before you decide to withdraw from a course. Now, if you decide to take the recovery path, you can use the last page of the worksheet to create some goals for yourself. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make a plan. And the next thing you're going to need to do is stick to the plan. So it seems pretty easy, but it involves a lot of discipline, it involves a lot of rigorous work, and it involves really setting yourself up for success. So don't forget to look at the resource list at the very end of this packet to find some ways to get help. And as I always say, adulting is consulting. So let's talk about some skills in terms of moving forward. First, it's important to take a look at your schedule. Maybe you don't use a schedule builder, maybe you do. You can use a paper or a virtual calendar to schedule out time for everything in your recovery plan. This might mean tutoring sessions, it might mean extra studying, and it might mean SI Pass or office hours or any of that. Stick to 25-minute study sessions because your natural attention span as a human is about 25 minutes long. So every 25 minutes, it's important to take a 5-minute break to keep yourself sharp. And if possible, change up your subjects that you're studying about every half hour. So for one 25-minute section, study something, focus on one task. For the next 25-minute study session after your 5 minutes, change subjects if you've got something to do in another course, and then maybe go back to the first one. That will really help your mind to kind of settle the material that you're learning and store it in your long-term memory properly. And if you'd like a paper calendar, there's one linked below the video. The next thing is learning objectives. We've talked about the syllabus already a few times, but it's really important to revisit the course syllabus if you get an early academic alert so that you understand what's expected of you for the rest of the semester. Look for the learning objectives in the course syllabus and think about the way you study. Does the way you study match up with the learning objectives of the course? So if it does match, that's great. If it doesn't, maybe reflect on how you might adjust your studying or your approach to the class to better suit the learning objectives. You can also find learning objectives often in the textbooks at the beginning of each chapter, and they're a really useful tool for studying because they provide you with an opportunity to think more about the material in a way that might help you apply it on a test. Speaking of testing, the best way to prepare for a test is by actually testing your memory. So practicing for a test could be anything from flashcards to timed practice test. And the whole point is to test your recall skills. On a test, you will be asked to recall things, and that may be recalling big topics, that might be recalling terms, it might be taking terms and being asked to do something with them, in which case you really need to know those terms. So practice your recall skills at every opportunity you can. This will help them solidify in your long-term memory, which is really important in foundational science courses. You also need to create balance. So when you're making your schedule, schedule time for you every single day. Scheduling time for yourself for something you love, whether that's playing basketball at the rack, watching a Netflix show by yourself or with your roommate or maybe a group of friends, going for a run, could be something for self-care like doing a face mask or maybe knitting. Anything that you like to do that makes you feel good will prevent burnout and keep you mentally healthy. And it's really important to stay mentally healthy to push through the end of the semester, especially when the weather gets nice to spend time outside with friends. Make sure you're creating time for sleep and time to eat, like balanced meals, and have, have social time Don't spend all your time studying, but make sure you've got enough time for that too. So thank you so much for participating, whether or not you just watched or filled out the sheet while you watched. Maybe you'll fill it out later. We really encourage you to fill out the sheet and really take time to consider what you should do moving forward after an early academic alert. If you'd like to talk through your recovery plan, you can make an appointment with me, CNMS Student Success Coach. My name's Emma Barnaby. My Calendly link is calendly.com/ebarnaby, and that is also linked below the video in the See More box. You can make an appointment with me virtually, or you can come into my office in the CNMS Advising Suite, which is in the University Center, room 205A. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this helped. Come see me if you need to make a plan, and good luck to you in the rest of the semester.